Think back to the influencers of the 2010s. Success often came down to raw energy, a decent camera, and enough luck to ride the algorithm toward a lucrative brand deal. But that landscape has shifted. The creators who dominated 5 or 10 years ago are quietly vanishing from the feed. The audience hasn't stopped watching. Instead, the value of the information those creators were selling dropped to zero as artificial intelligence turned basic advice into a free commodity. This chart shows the direct impact of high AI adoption. As the accessibility of automated tools sharply rises, the market value of generic influencer advice plummets. Viewers no longer need a human to explain basic workout splits or entry-level business tips when a language model provides a customized plan for free. Information is no longer the product. To build a multi-million-dollar business in 2026, you have to transition from being a generalist influencer to an irreplaceable expert. Pillar 1 is deep expertise. The market rejects surface-level advice in favor of demonstrated authority. We're seeing a massive influx of highly credentialed professionals, bringing actual degrees to platforms like Instagram and YouTube. When they enter a niche, they tend to dominate the conversation immediately. Established authority provides a level of audience capture that hobbies alone cannot match. When an expert speaks from a foundation of peer-reviewed research, they command a degree of trust that keeps their following stable for decades. You can compete without a literal PhD, but you must acquire domain-specific knowledge. This means studying your chosen field at a master's level, often spending 5 to 10 hours a day with primary sources. This academic approach forces you to examine a single problem from dozens of different angles. It allows you to build the kind of rigorous conceptual framework required to solve complex viewer problems that a single tip cannot address. Your use of AI must reflect this expertise. It should serve as a research tool to decode specific, complex paragraphs within the academic texts you are reading, rather than a substitute for reading the books themselves. This level of conceptual understanding creates a monopoly in your market. It is the one asset an artificial intelligence cannot hallucinate or duplicate. Once the knowledge is in place, you need the second pillar, unbreakable trust. Content quality is your primary defense against market saturation. Consider the high failure rate for creators who rely on exaggerated credentials. A common example is the influx of people with basic psychology degrees calling themselves therapists online, despite having zero clinical training. This graph illustrates a grifter's life cycle. You see a rapid revenue spike during trust building, but it collapses when the product fails to deliver. Success in 2026 requires an R&D mindset. You accept slower, deliberate growth to build a product that stands up to scrutiny. In a high-friction digital economy, long-term social reputation is your most valuable asset. Credibility converts at a higher rate than any marketing gimmick. Knowledge and trust only work if they can be translated to a phone screen. That requires the third pillar, authentic communication. This timeline represents a 3-minute video format, the most effective starting point for complex ideas. Within these 3 minutes, you must maintain a rigid narrative pace. Information must move from point A to point B every 10 to 20 seconds, ensuring viewers are constantly rewarded. Your delivery should feel as natural as a conversation with a close friend. Avoiding fake personas and speaking directly to the camera reduces friction with your audience. Stacking dense information with relaxed, authentic delivery creates an attention loop that algorithmically outperforms highly edited, low-value content. Content creation in 2026 has transitioned into a hyper-competitive, research-intensive business. We have to look at the logic behind the AI shortcut. If a $20 subscription could write scripts capable of generating millions of dollars in revenue, the developers wouldn't be selling it for $20. The high-value work remains human. Your immediate takeaway is to pick your niche and find the definitive academic textbook on that subject. Mastery begins with reading the material your competition is too lazy to open. The difficulty of this research phase is actually the ultimate barrier to entry. It prevents low-effort competitors from ever entering your market. Integrating high-level expertise with these precise communication systems creates a scalable asset. For creators who master this formula, the significant financial returns are a direct reflection of the unfakeable value they've built.